Good afternoon. So, nihilism, the idea that there is no objective good or evil, has more or less taken over Western civilization. I gave a very fast and rough outline as to how that is in the previous video, and now I'm going to talk about the consequences. And the consequences really just apply to people, because, again, philosophy is basically the measure of how you move through life. It doesn't really apply to animals, it applies to thinking creatures like human beings. So, precisely, in my mind, there are two consequences of this. Now, there is no getting the old objective system of good or evil back. There's not. It's gone. You cannot re-implement it back into the people. You can't bring it back to life. It's dead. As, again, one Mr. Friedrich Nietzsche actually lamented, God is dead and we have killed him. And that is not something he said in joy. That's actually something he said as a dire warning. Possibly because he might have been thinking something along similar lines as me, only much more refined, because again, man was brilliant. So, with the death of good and evil, what does that do to people? Simply put, in my mind at least, feel free to disagree, it does two things. The first group of people will hear, God is dead, and therefore, I can do whatever I want. Why shouldn't I just indulge in every worst possible thing? Why shouldn't I lie, cheat, and steal and manipulate my way to the top? Why shouldn't I basically loot the sinking ship for all of the fine china and silverware and leave on the fanciest lifeboat that I can possibly find? After all, there's no one who's going to stop me. There's no authority. The teacher's gone, so why shouldn't I just set the classroom on fire and make off with the wallet? That's the first group of people. And you would be insane to say that they don't exist and that they're not succeeding. The second group of people are a little bit more rare. The second group of people will basically take a look at the situation, think about it, and they will say, there is no more ultimate good. Therefore, we should bring it forth into existence. Now, unfortunately, that's very difficult. It's extremely difficult. It's a long, slow process. You more or less have to trick a lot of people into it, or at the very least, you have to implement the idea slowly, or through metaphors and allegory and stories that you get people to believe until they kind of adopt whatever it is that you're pitching as the ultimate good. So, those are the two consequences. Either people hear that, they realize there is no moral authority, and they choose to basically use that as an opportunity to act evil, or people hear that, and they use it as an opportunity to say, well then, we should create good. And those are the two consequences. So, that's the shorter video, because it's much simpler. Feel free to disagree, feel free to leave a comment, and hey, you take care of yourselves. Y'all have a very nice day.